Hello students, welcome back to my channel Maths Academy. Today we are having the question of the day 12, and we have a very interesting questions, and this question is came in ISI BMath B Stat Entrance exams in 2023. Okay, now the question says that we have to prove this expression is divisible by this one, x square plus x plus 1. This is the sign of divisions, so divides this expression. So we want to prove that this expression is completely divisible by this one. So here I am going to use one theorem, that is the factor theorem I want to use here. So what is factor theorem is, suppose you have a polynomial fx, okay now, and if at x is equal to alpha the polynomial becomes 0, then we say that x minus alpha is a factor. For example, if you have this expression x square minus 4, which is fx, and at x equal to 2 it will become 2 square minus 4, that is 0. So we can say that x minus 2 is a factor of it. Okay now. So now here, can we find the factor of this divisor? Is it possible? So we are going to calculate the factor of the divisor. We have this one, x square plus x plus 1. So now how can we factorize this one? So actually you know that if you have x cube minus 1, when you factorize this one, this cubic polynomial, you have x minus 1, and other expression is x square plus x plus 1, which is equal to 0. So x is 1 and other roots you are getting from here, x square plus x plus 1 equal to 0. So when you apply the Sridhar Acharya's formula, it will become minus 1 plus and minus root 3I divided by 2. So if I consider plus is omega, then minus will be omega square, and the product of these two quantity, omega into omega square, that is omega cube, which is omega into omega square, this is nothing but 1. You can also verify by applying this value here, you can see that. So that means I want to say that this expression has two zeros or two roots, one is omega and other is omega square. So that means I can factorize this expression as a linear factor, x minus omega and x minus omega square. So I want to prove that RTP required to prove is, you have to prove x square plus x plus 1 divide that quantity. That means you want to prove x minus omega and x minus omega square actually divide this quantity x power 10 plus x power 5 and plus whatever here 1. Okay now. So this you want to show that it is divisible by these or not. So what we do here, we apply the basic concept, because this is a linear factor, and our factor theorem applicable for linear factors. If you want to prove that this one is a factor of this, so you have to simply put in the place of x omega, and you have to show that this quantity becomes 0. So now I am considering this is our gx, which is equal to x power 10 plus x power 5 plus 1. So now whatever the value of g omega we are going to calculate, so omega power 10, omega power 5 plus 1, which is nothing but omega power 3 whole power 3, then omega 1 omega power 3 into we have omega square and plus 1. So what we notice that it is omega cube is 1, so we have omega plus omega square plus 1. So now, which is nothing but the original expression that we have, omega plus omega square plus 1. We have this kind of expression, x square plus x plus 1. So if I put here its factor omega, then we have this quantity which becomes 0 by the factor theorem. So what we know that this expression is actually 0. Similarly, if you put g omega square, you are getting the value 0. So what we see that by applying all the linear factors making equal to 0, find their roots and put in this expression gx, and we have seen that this expression become at these two values. That means this expression is divisible by this one. Hope all of you understand this concept. It is very useful for the ISI CMI, Mass Olympiad and AMC 8 and 12. Okay, now we will meet in the next video with a very interesting and exciting problem. Till then, bye, have a nice day.